So I just finished my tempo run. It was a 1 kilometer conversational pace warm up followed by a 2 kilometer run at 440 per kilometer, 440 minute per kilometer pace. Sorry. This is what happens when you talk after running, but I figured this is where my true thoughts can really shine through. So I decided I'd film. I didn't even plan to film today. And then I think it was a 120-second rest, walking rest followed by 1 kilometer at 4:30, and then walking rest again, 1 kilometer at 4:30, and then finish off with a 1 kilometer conversational pace cool down. And first things first, running fasted, not exactly the best. I mean, if your sole purpose of running is to help you lose weight, then I would probably go and run fasted for most of mine, like easy runs, tempo runs included. But if your goal is to run faster and be a better runner, don't do that. It's probably better to eat beforehand so you can really give the most effort in your workout, because I think about 20 minutes in, I already started to feel a bit dizzy and tired. But if I've had loaded up on carbs, that wouldn't have been an issue. I also hadn't had my coffee. But in so saying that, I do find that running fasted really builds a lot of resilience and mental resilience. So the moment you run with food, well, you just feel like a different animal. So I think I'll stick to fasted runs, easy runs, but I'll probably do my tempos, my intervals, so my speed work with food, because I think that's the smarter thing to do. But I'm also impatient. I really prefer getting my workouts done in the morning, especially runs. I just find that after running, I have a lot more energy to finish the day, yeah. Well, start and finish the day. Whereas when it hits 3, 4 p.m., I'm already a bit lethargic, a bit tired. The day's already gone by and you're like, oh, when should I get this workout over with? And I'm sure some of y'all can relate. So comment below and let me know if y'all are morning, afternoon, or evening exercisers. But I do have something I want to talk about today. And maybe it pertains more towards people of my culture, but I don't know. I'm sure those of y'all from Western cultures, Middle Eastern cultures, African cultures may relate differently, but I'm gonna say this. I really don't like how parents and just older generation people in our culture talk about body weight and shapes and how people eat. I think it's fine if you're talking to adults, because we're all grown people and there's gonna be a lot of things that trigger us. And as adults, it's our job to learn to deal with these triggers, which I'm only slowly learning to do, and I'm 31 already, right? But if you tell a kid this, that can only be harmful. It can never be better. A lot of Chinese parents think, oh, well, I'll just tell them they need to eat less, lose weight, and it's all fine. And they repeat that over and over again. And I'm like, that's terrible advice. That's exactly how kids end up with body image issues. They start to follow people on Instagram. They start to want to look a different way. They're not happy with how they look. And then parents wonder, well, why are they more depressed? Why are they more suicidal and whatnot? Well, there's your answer. Now, I'm not saying all of it stems from the parents. Social media is definitely a big part to blame. Influencers saying, oh, you need to look like this to get to a six-pack. All you need to do is do this. And then when these kids follow this advice, and it's obviously terrible advice because most of them are not sports scientists, they're not trainers, they end up going, well, clearly I'm the problem. It's like that back then it was the six-pack shortcut stuff, like Mike Chang. I don't know if y'all remember, but you do these 15-minute hit workouts and you're gonna have abs and you're gonna look like me. It's like, dude, come on, man. You're blasting gear. You're obviously training 5-6 days a week. You're eating well, sleeping well. That's why you look jacked. And on top of that, you probably have good genetics too, It's not because of that crappy 15-minute hit program and supplements that you're peddling. So that's a big pet peeve of mine. But back to the Chinese culture. I mean, I'm sorry, but I look at including some of my relatives as well as other Chinese parents, and I hear them speak to their kids going like, 唔好食咁多啦，你食咁多會好肥㗎啦，變肥仔肥妹㗎啦. Which in English means, well, stop eating so much. If you eat so much, you're gonna end up being a fat boy, fat girl. And I'm like, okay, yes, we shouldn't encourage kids to be overweight, and it's becoming a bigger problem, kids are becoming more and more overweight. And obviously there's so many variables behind why, especially in Chinese culture, you know, and I'm not going to get too deep into it, but obviously academics is much more of a priority compared to physical health and mental health. Yeah, don't even get me started on mental health in Hong Kong. But I think the bigger problem here for me is seeing Chinese parents tell their kids to do something, yet they're not a role model themselves. That is my biggest pet peeve, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. And how does this all relate to health maxing? Well, you know, you see a dad, he's eating crisps, sitting on the couch watching TV, 8 p.m., telling their kid, oh, well, you can't have these crisps. You need to go exercise first. And I'm like, dude, don't tell them, show them. There's a reason why they are the same size as you, presumably because they've picked up on the habits you've done. And a kid's not stupid, right? A lot of parents somehow think a kid doesn't know as much as they do. Okay, maybe they don't knowledge-wise, but they're not dumb kids. They know, if you're eating crisps every day, why can't I? And they know, they don't know, they don't have the lexicon for it, but they know you're being a hypocrite. So, what am I gonna say? Get your butt off the couch, show your kids who's a role model. It's you, because no, kids are not gonna look at anyone else. I mean, yeah, sure, they have, you know, their peers, and unlikely will they see one of their peers as their role models, unless if they fancy them. But that's another story for another time, right? You're their role model. Their teachers are their role models. And that's another pet peeve of mine as well, teachers too, you know. I really contemplated being a PE teacher, and I think as a PE teacher, you can't be out of shape. I've seen so many PE teachers that are out of shape, and I'm like, you are not setting a good example for the kids. And most teachers, frankly, don't care. They don't care. They don't set a standard. They're not role models. And yeah, that bugs me. But parents, this is a PSA to y'all. If you want your kids to lead a better physical health, better physical health, lead a better physical lifestyle, have better habits, then you better show them that. And that's why, I mean, if I had kids, 100%, I'm gonna be doing the same things I do now, you know, exercising, even though it's gonna be much more tiring. And I understand a lot of people go, yeah, well, wait till you're a parent, then you'll see that you don't have time. It's like, yeah, I understand. It's gonna be a lot less time, but I know for a fact that I'm still gonna carve out 20 minutes a day to work out, even if it just means a little bit of a hit at home. And I know for a fact that the mother of my child, i.e. my current partner, no doubt she's gonna be the same as well. She's crazy. She does 50-hour work weeks. She weight trains 4 days a week, runs 2-3 times a week, eats well, plays the bass. She's freaking awesome. And that's exactly who I want as the mother of my child, if I were to have children. That's the thing with children, right? It's a big responsibility, it's expensive. Society nowadays, it's not easy for kids. So I don't know if I ever will have kids, but I 100% want her to be the mother of my child. Because I want my daughter or son to have very good and similar qualities, like have good qualities and similar qualities to her. Hardworking, disciplined. She's someone that, she's very different to me. I do struggle with executing certain things. Not certain things, a lot of things. I have a lot of ideas. It's typical ADHers. I have a lot of ideas, but we really struggle with execution. And yeah, there's definitely things that I would love my kids to have that she has. And I'm sure I would want some of the qualities of mine for my kids to have, like my, I guess, wit, I don't know. I'd like to think I'm quite fast on my feet when it comes to speaking. And I generally socialize very well with people and network well. So yeah, I would love my kids to do that. And how do you do that? Well, you've got to be a role model to them. And I'm sorry, but when Chinese parents complain about their kids not doing that, not doing this, yeah, sure, a lot of it is a genetic lottery, and you can't control what DNA your kids have, but you can only really show them, especially as kids, from a young age, that actually you can overcome a lot of things through changing your environmental factors. You're not limited by your genetics, is what I'm saying. Obviously, genetics play a huge role in everything. Like, for example, sport, your VO2 max, how much muscle you can build, how tall you are. Yeah, that's not something genetics can influence. But I know so many folks who don't have the world's best genetics, but they're still physically healthier and stronger and faster and endurance-wise better than 99% of the general population. just through sheer hard work and being educated, knowledgeable. So yeah, don't be a crap role model, be a better role model, you know? If you want your kid to excel academically, well then show them that you also care. You read books, you're not just scrolling Instagram, doom scrolling at night on Instagram. Yeah, obviously they're gonna follow you. Kids pick things up like this. It's like a dog. Have you ever had a dog or a cat? Well, not a cat, a dog, because cats don't listen, but dogs. If you teach them the wrong thing the first 3 months, you're screwed. They don't know where to pee, right? You got to dial it down. And if you mess up the first 6 months, good luck. And that's how a lot of dogs end up in foster care. They end up in shelters, which is terrible. Please don't get a dog if you're not able to. Think first before you get one, okay? They have feelings, they have emotions, you know. They're literally like small kids, so they experience a lot of hurt as well. So yeah, it's just painful to see how many parents they tell off their kids. But I look at them and go, wait a second, but you're not doing any of that. You're not showing them that that's what they should be doing. Yeah, obviously they're not gonna listen. Oh yeah. And I know this is a bit off, I guess, topic because I do talk about health maxing, but how it relates is, well, if you're eating like crap, you sleep like crap, you're doom scrolling at night, electronics, playing games, not reading books, not learning things on YouTube, yeah, your kid's gonna do the same thing. Chances of them doing the opposite, very slim. You know, it's very rare, and it's true. I'm pretty sure research shows this too, but if your parents are overweight, the chances of your kid being overweight is exponentially higher. And just same thing with the opposite. If you're parents who work out a lot, your kid is probably gonna work out too because they're gonna follow you. They're gonna do what you wanna do and what you usually do as a routine. So yeah, if you're a parent watching this, I'm sorry if this offends you. Well, no, I'm not sorry. This is something you all need to hear. But I hope it inspires change and makes you rethink how, you know, I'm not here to tell you how to parent. I don't know not a thing about parenting, but I can look at statistics, I can look at people, and you can tell, hey, well, if you're not being a good role model, chances are your kids are not gonna become what you want them to become. So show them, don't tell them. And for now, that's the video. So I'll catch y'all soon. Peace.